When my husband and I were engaged, I was excited to be more involved with his kids. One day I volunteered at their preschool. I was handing out snacks and a little boy asked me, "Are you their mom?" I said, "Oh no, she's over there. I'm their stepmom." His face fell. He dropped the snack and ran away from me. And in that moment, I came face to face with the Stepmom Paradox. The word mom feels warm and cozy, and everyone knows what it means. Add step and it's like, oh, suddenly it's uncomfortable. You probably picture a cartoon villain. And even if you know that's not you, stepmom can kind of feel like another way of saying, not a real mom. If you're anything like me, that character has nothing to do with you. I fell in love with a man who happened to be a dad. And let's be honest, getting a preview of your man with kids is kind of hot. This was my happily ever after. I was supposed to be Cinderella, not the wicked stepmother. So what do we do when we're madly in love, excited to welcome kids into our lives, yet thrust into a role with a loaded title and a confusing job description? That's what I'm here to discuss. I'm Dionna, and this is the first episode of The Not So Wicked Stepmother. If you're new here, welcome. So am I. I decided to start this channel the same way I decided to be a stepmom, with a lot of enthusiasm and no idea what I'm doing. I want to share this journey in real time because I'm 5 years in, I've learned a lot, I'm still learning, and I suspect I'm not alone. So if you're a stepmom or anyone interested in blended family life, please subscribe. The focus here is going to be exploring the unique challenges and opportunities of life as a stepmom. And today I have 5 practical parenting tips for you, so stay tuned. Today I want to talk about that stepmom paradox, the fact that most women who step into this role have the best intentions, yet often feel misunderstood or like we can't quite get it right. One way I've heard it put is we're told we're supposed to, and we want to, love them like our own, but we're not supposed to overstep or try to be their mom. What does that even mean? It may feel impossible to navigate, but it doesn't have to be. I believe if we let go of our expectations, we can accept that we are parenting, but it may not look or feel exactly the same as being a mom. My stepmom experience began around 5 years ago when we were engaged and the kids were ages 3 and 5. My husband and their mom co-parented amicably and shared the custody and schedule 50-50. My relationship with the kids was good. I had no idea the struggles that were ahead. I mean, there's the regular parenting stuff, like no one can prepare you for the results of 24 rolls of toilet paper plus the garden hose in your backyard, or my transfer-proof lip stain used as finger paint in the bathroom. Then there's the new decor of explosions of Legos and Barbies who look like they're on their way to Studio 54 in the 70s, and the never-ending journey of trying to feed kids whose love language is junk food. It was a lot to adjust to. But for step-parents, there's another layer. Even when you love your stepkids and they love you, there will be times when they reject you or push you away. That's true with all kids. But it does feel different as a stepmom. Maybe it's because our foundation doesn't feel as solid. Maybe we have a bit of imposter syndrome. Maybe we're scared we're doing it wrong. I felt all of those things. Then, a year into our marriage, things got even more complicated. In May of 2020, we welcomed our son, which means in less than a year, I went from newlywed career gal to pregnant homeschool teacher to postpartum juggler at a 3-ring circus. I was a new mom who had poured my heart into my stepkids and desperately wanted my family to feel like a cohesive unit. And it didn't. And that isn't anyone's fault. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is you can't ignore the elephant in the room. The kids didn't choose this. Even if all the adults are doing their very best, the kids are growing up in a divided family. And I don't say that to create any shame around divorce or remarriage. Sometimes it really is what's for the best for everybody. But as a stepmom, I made a choice that our kids didn't get. I can have empathy for that without feeling guilty. And I can be sensitive to the fact that their feelings about our family might be more complicated than mine. Our son is now nearly 4, and the big kids are coming up on 9 and 11. It still isn't easy, but like I said, I've learned a lot. So here are 5 practical tips for being a not-so-wicked stepmother. Number 1, connect with them individually. I love the idea of sitting down to dinner as a family or having a game night, and we do those things when we can, but the reality doesn't often match the expectation. I feel much closer to my stepkids when I spend time with them one-on-one. It takes the pressure off of being the whole family, and it really shows them that I'm interested in them, and I can just show up and listen. This might mean you'll learn a lot about Minecraft or memorize entire Taylor Swift albums, but just showing up for them a little bit every day that you can goes a long way. Number 2, on the flip side, give them space. Give them space with their dad, especially. Remember, they might be more excited to see him than they are to see you, and that's okay. Make sure that you're creating opportunities for him to have that same amount of one-on-one time with them that you want to have, and you're also demonstrating to them that you're not trying to compete with them for his attention. Number 3, if at all possible, let them see you and their mom together. Look, I know this isn't everyone's reality, but if you can, celebrate their birthdays or another holiday or a family tradition together. This shows them that all the parents are on the same team and put them first. Number 4, if you bring a new baby into the family, accept your stepkids might be jealous. Try not to panic. I did. I was scared and I wanted to fix it. The truth is, it takes time. You might feel defensive and protective, and that's fine. You can't explain to your stepkids that you love them equally, but you can show them. And if it feels like they're keeping score or looking for ways that your kid gets special treatment, just remember, he does have something they don't have, an intact family. Again, the elephant in the room, no shame, just compassion. Your stepkids go back and forth between 2 homes, and they only get to see one parent at a time. That is a burden your kid doesn't share. So they might be looking for the proof because they can't quite place what that kid has that's different than what they have. You know, and so you can lead with love. Number 5, talk to your spouse. If you're a stepmom, you're also a wife. There's no reason to compartmentalize these roles. Your husband will have your back. There is no medal for martyrdom. You're going to make mistakes. Share them. Problem solve together. It will strengthen your marriage. Speaking of mistakes, I've been taking guitar lessons, and the other day I was practicing and cringed every time I hit a wrong note, specifically B flat. It's a really awkward chord. But I had a thought, how can I expect to learn how to play guitar without hitting wrong notes? It was so obvious, and it's so true in life. There's no way to improve without making mistakes. You're going to hit wrong notes. There is no such thing as a perfect stepmom. There's no such thing as a perfect mom either. But we can create a loving home for our family, and one by one, we can change the narrative about stepmothers. I've thought a lot about why the subject of step-parenting isn't discussed more, and I think one of the reasons is it's such a broad term. Like I said before, everyone knows what it means to be a mom, even though there are all kinds of moms. But blended families are so diverse, the topic can feel too big to tackle. That said, I believe we share common ground. It is my hope to create a community that prioritizes the parenting part of being a stepmom. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Fun fact, while my stepdaughter was taking the picture for the thumbnail for this video, my little guy yelled from the bathroom for me to come wipe his butt. Parenting, very glamorous.
What time wipe my butt?